Page number 23. We will start, and I will just start sharing my screen, girls. Let me know when you can see it, please. Okay. Girls, is the screen visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, excellent. Okay, there we go. So we are in week 3 now, and today we have started the new month, which is February. Did you girls realize January went already? 2021 January gone. Literally
I
finished.
thought it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was very fast, but yesterday was the last day of January, and we start off with February. Today is the 1st of February. And I think you all are aware about the rules since you all are really good girls and punctual girls following the rules. I don't think so. I need to repeat it again and again, but just be content with it. All right. Okay, girls. We are going to start with page number 23. Lesson 2 is going to be proceeded on the high and late middles. This is during the ages of 150 to 1450. All right. Okay. Who can read the first paragraph of main ideas for me?
Me.
Raise your hands. Raise your hands. That
Okay.
is the only way I will know. Yalla, no. If you're the first one to raise the hand, so go for it. Yalla.
During the High Middle Ages, feudal monarchs began to build a work for the modern nation state. European contacts with the Middle East during the
Okay.
Crusades
Mm-hmm.
revived interest in trade and exploration. Beginning in the 13th,
1300s.
1300, famine, flood also, and the war made the decline of the medieval era.
Europe. Thank you so much. Nav. All right, guys. So, the high and late Middle Ages. What happened? I need you to concentrate here, girls, so that when we go towards the question answer side, at least instead of searching on the book, you can answer yourself. So please focus. There'll be some vocabulary words. I'll discuss it with you right now. Okay. So during the high Middle Ages, what happened? The feudal monarchs began to build a framework for the modern nation state. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I already explained you the definition of feudalism. Do you remember, girls? The definition of
Yes,
feudalism in the last lesson, right? So that was basically how the system was implemented for the nobles. In place of land, they actually give themselves the security, right? Now, what is feudal basically? Feudal means old fashioned or outdated, all right? So, what happened during the High Middle Ages? The old fashioned monarchs, the people, they began to build a framework for the modern nation state. Okay. So, these are just the main ideas of the topic we'll proceed on earlier. Okay. Then, European contacts with the Middle East during the Crusades revived interest in trade and exploration. Now, revived, first of all, means building it up, okay, getting it back to survive. All right. So, what is Crusades, girls? During the Crusades, it says Crusades is basically a time during the medieval, old-fashioned European time. What used to happen is that there were military people who used to make tours. Military tours were made, sorry, by the Europeans, okay? And they wanted to recover the Holy Land from the Muslims in the old times. So those particular time period was called as Crusades, okay? What is Crusades? The military tours that were made by the European people to actually take over or recover or snatch back the Holy Land from the Muslims during the old times. You can't call that time Crusades now. That old time used to be called as Crusades. Clear, girls? So, what happened is European contacts with the Middle East during these Crusades times, they revived their interest in trade and exploration. They wanted to explore more, they wanted to increase the trade more. Clear? And thirdly, beginning in the 1300s, famine, plague, and war marked the decline of medieval Europe. Medieval Europe means old fashioned Europe. Medieval, do you remember the meaning of medieval? I told you old fashioned.
yeah.
So, what happened? Basically, how did the Europe decline? There are three things that actually affected Europe. One is famine. Famine means when they had very shortage of food, extreme
Yeah.
scarcity of food. Scarcity means they lacked food. They did not have enough food to survive. Okay. Plague, basically, during old times. You know, today we have a disease known as corona. Okay. Before old times, we used to have a disease known as flu. Now, flu is common, I know, but before it used to be a big deal because they didn't know what is flu is. So, old medieval times, there was another disease called as plague. Okay. It was a bacterial disease and used to cause very, very, very high fever, and people used to lose their lives because of that. Okay. So, what are the three things that basically caused the decline of medieval Europe? That was famine, which means shortage of food, plague, which was the bacterial disease, and the war. They had the war, they couldn't have enough people to survive. So, eventually, the decline of medieval Europe happened. Am I clear, girls, to all of you?
Yeah.
Any questions, girls? No questions? Sure?
No, teacher, it's easy.
Okay, okay, alhamdulillah. Yalla. Let's proceed on. The vocabulary words still remain, so we can continue. All right. Who can read the next paragraph for me? Raise your hand. Farah, could you please do the honors to read the next paragraph during the early Middle Ages?
Um, yes, yes, teacher. Okay. During the early Middle Ages, hundreds of
Mm-hmm.
feudal ruled over territories of varying size. Most were loyal to a king or other overlord, but royal rulers had little power. During the High Middle Ages, feudal monarchs
Mm-hmm.
started to increase their power. Slowly, over the next several centuries, these monarchs built the framework for what would become the European nations of today.
Excellent. Thank you so much for it. Okay, girls. So now what happened? Earlier we discussed about the High Middle Ages. I gave you the idea. Now, during the early Middle Ages, hundreds of feudal nobles means outdated, old-fashioned nobles. They ruled over different territories which were in different sizes. Some were small, some were medium, some were large. It depended. It depended. Okay. Some territories were very small with very less people. Some were large communities. Some were very, very big communities. So what happened was all nobles during those times used to rule over those territories. Okay. Most of them were either loyal to a king or another overlord. Overlord meant that somebody who was not a king, but the people had actually, how can I say, voted them to be in charge of that particular community, like a leader. All right. So most of them were either loyal to their king or their overlord, but royal rulers had little power. Whoever used to rule those territories, they didn't have much power. Okay, their power was very minimalized. So during the High Middle Ages, feudal monarchs started to increase their power. In the Middle Ages, they didn't have much power. As the time went on during the High Middle Ages, their power started to increase. They started ruling more. They started having more power towards people. They started giving more stronger orders. They started building more communities together to become stronger and stronger. Okay, so slowly over the next several centuries, these monarchs built the framework for what would become the European nations of today. Today, the Europe that you see right now, girls, it is because of those monarchs, those people who built a very strong framework to make the Europe that it is today. They worked for centuries, their forefathers. Centuries means obviously 100 of years. All right. So with time, they kept on working very hard to make Europe what it is now. The world follows them. You know the countries in Europe, right? You know Switzerland, you know Spain, you know Amsterdam, and so on. Clear, girls?
Yeah.
All of you? You got the main idea now?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
yes,
Who can
teacher.
read this paragraph for me now? Who has raised their hand? Judy, yalla, go for it.
When William the Conqueror took the throne of England in 1066, he helped unify England and strengthen the monarchy. William's successors built a system of tax collecting. They also strengthened finances and law. Other English kings broadened the system of royal justice and developed the basis for English common law, or law that is based in custom and court rulings. A jury system also developed. A jury or a group of men sworn to speak the truth determined which cases should be brought to trial.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Judy. Okay, now growth of royal power in England. We already read about girls how Europe was working on and everything. So now they're talking about England. Obviously, it comes in Europe. Okay. What happened was there was a conqueror. We read, remember about Alexander the Great Conqueror was there, right? Now there was another conqueror. His name was William. When William the Conqueror took the throne of England in 1066, he helped unify England and strengthen the monarchy. So he basically unified England. That means he brought England together. Okay. and he tried to make it strong. All right. William's successors built a system of tax collecting. William's successor means his kids and the kids after his kids. Okay. Successor means people who come in the next generation of that person. All right. So what they did is they built a system of tax collecting. You know that Saudi before did not have the tax procedure. Now they have something known as VAT. Are you all aware about that? Value added tax. There is something known as tax.
Yeah,
And
teacher, we
exactly.
buy, we should have any some a
Exactly.
certain money to with it, yani.
Absolutely. It goes to the government directly. So what happened was William's successors, they built this system of tax collecting. Before, England did not have that. Okay. They also strengthened finances and law. So apart from building a system called tax collecting, they also strengthened two major things. Underline this, girls. They also strengthened two major things. One was finance and the other was law within England. Okay. Other English kings broadened the system of royal justice and developed the basis for English common law or law that is based upon custom and court rulings. So basically, there were also other kings. There wasn't only William and his successors, right? So what they did is they broadened more of the system. They brought more royal justice. They worked more towards the law side, you can say. Okay. They built
Yeah,
a
they
common
improved
law.
it.
Yes, yes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. So they built a common law, okay, for them to all have a unified law, okay. And that law was based on any kind of rulings that was made by the court, okay. There wasn't like anybody gives an order and khalas, it is going to go on. Like in our country right now in Saudi Arabia, nothing goes ahead unless and until the decision is coming from the king, correct? Even the ministries cannot take actions until and unless they have the approval of the king. Similarly, during those times in England, they built the court rulings. So anything that had to pass by the court ruling process. Clear, girls?
Yeah.
For those court ruling bases also, there was something known as a jury system that was developed. I don't know if you've watched any show or movie that you know something about jury. Basically, what happens is when the court is there are a group of 12 to 15 people who sit, girls, and the court presents their case, and jury is very anonymous. Anonymous means they don't take sides. They give their own decision, they vote. If there are 15 people, for example, if 11 of them want something and the rest of the four of them want something else, so whatever the 11 people voted is going to be the decision. So basically, in a court, it is not only the decision of the judge. You know, one person is not responsible for a decision. A fair and square decision used to be taken by people known as jury. It was a group of men sworn to speak the truth, determined which cases should be brought to trial. If they thought it was
Sir, why
very,
is my name everywhere?
why is there a jury? This jury is not the
Sir,
jury that we're
I
talking
feel
about.
like you are calling me and I'm not answering.
No, don't worry. Your spelling is different, so you can just imagine that, okay? So
Okay.
this jury basically, now you know what it means, okay? There were a group of men, they had to speak the truth, and they were the ones who decided which cases were too important to bring it to the court and which could be settled there and then. Clear, girls? All of you? So basic points you learned here is William the Conqueror strengthened the monarchy of England. William's successor built three things: tax collecting, strengthened finances, and law. The other kings of English actually based everything on the court laws, court rulings, and within these court rulings, the system of jury was also developed. Clear, girls, all of you?
Yeah.
Understood? All
Yeah,
right.
teacher.
Growth of royal power in England. All right, girls. Now, I don't know if you can see the picture clearly. It says the Norman conquest led to a blending of Norman French and Anglo-Saxon cultures. Now, it seems kind of confusing to you, but listen to carefully this now. What is a Norman conquest now? Let's read. The overthrow of the government of England in 1066 by forces of Normandy. What was Normandy? It was a province of northern France under the leadership of the William the Conqueror. What happened was that there came a time during the England 1066. There was a time that the government actually forced the province of northern France to fight. Okay, so they were taking over things in many ways. So Norman conquest was that the forces that William actually ordered to overthrow the government of England, those forces were called Normandy. Okay, That name of the force was Normandy. Okay, and that particular force involved the province of northern France. It was under the leadership of William the Conqueror. He is the one who decided to give this order in 1066. All right. So, what happened was the Norman conquest led to, when he sent this order, when the people of the province of the northern France went to actually overthrow the government of England, this particular conquest of William, it led to blending of two things, Norman French and Anglo-Saxon cultures. Norman French is basically the people, Normandy people. The Norman French are that, okay? Anglo-Saxon is what? Germanic inhabitant of England between the 5th century and the Norman conquest. What is this, girls? The Germans before the England times. Okay, when they did not come in England, when they were still in their old German manners. Remember, we studied before how the German Empire was there and how they built up and how their cultures were different. We studied it the last few 2 pages ago, if you remember. So the German people basically between the 5th century and this time, the Norman time, 1066. Imagine the difference. Those people, they were obviously separate, they were not in England. They were leading a German life. They didn't have any culture, they didn't have any community, they didn't have anything built up. So, when William actually sent this Norman conquest, it led to two people combining together, the French people with the German people. In simple words, I'm telling you. Don't confuse yourself with these difficult words. Norman French is basically the French people, Anglo Saxon cultures is basically the German cultures. So, the French people combined with the German cultures together, blended up because of William the Conqueror's Norman conquest. The name of the conquest was Norman conquest. Girls, is it completely clear?
Yes.
Please let me know if you have any questions about this or if you're
Teacher,
confused.
what's
Teacher,
the
it's really
Norman
easy.
conquest? Only this
Huh?
word, the Norman conquest. I
Yes,
didn't understand the meaning.
it's okay. No, I'll tell you again. Norman conquest was basically it was the action. Okay, Norman conquest was an action taken by William the Conqueror. What he did is he wanted to send the people of France to combine with the cultures of German people. And those cultures of German people was known as Anglo-Saxon cultures. Those times they used to have very
Okay.
difficult words they used to give. Okay, so French
Yeah.
people combining with German cultures together, blending that together is known as a Norman conquest. Understood? This conquest was led by William the Conqueror during the year of 1066. Clear now?
Yes, teacher.
Any questions, Habibti?
No.
Sure. All of you girls, did you understand?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Yalla. Let's go on. Evolving traditions. Hala, could you do the honors of reading it for me, please?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
um, Evolving traditions. As the English kings strengthened the throne, they conflicted with nobles and the church. Out of those struggles came traditions of government that would influence the modern world. In the early 12, in the early 1200s,
Mhm.
a group of nobles checked the growing power of the English kings. They forced King John to sign the Magna Carta or
Excellent.
Carter.
Started. Thank you so much, Hala. Thanks a lot. Okay, girls. Now, what happened as the English kings were taking over, even after William the Conqueror, they were strengthening the throne. By throne means the seat they used to sit in. They used to have more and more power. While they were gaining more power, they were having conflicts, fights, misunderstandings with the nobles and the church. You remember how we earlier read about the church that Pope used to be so strong. They used to have very strong effect on people. The Christianity and all that. Remember in the previous lesson we studied that. So now, when the kings were getting stronger, the nobles and the church were having a problem with them. Out of those struggles came traditions of government that would influence the modern world. Now, among these problems, what happened was there were some of these traditions that were developed by the government because now they were, making it all towards the court side, developing the systems, making laws. So, one of those laws would actually influence their modern one as well. So, in the early 1200s, a group of nobles checked the growing power of the English kings and they forced King John to sign the Magna Carta or Great Charter. Because of these struggles, girls, the kings were facing with the nobles and the church. What they did, the nobles, during the 1200s, they bought up a contract to King John. At that time, King John was the ruler, okay, during the 1200s, okay. Leave William the successor right now, the conqueror. He's gone. During 1200s, there was a king known as King John. What the nobles did in order to, not have any more misunderstandings and problems, they made King John sign a contract. That contract's name was Magna Carta. Okay, we'll know what Magna Carta is in the next paragraph, don't worry. So that contract was signed by King John to give the peace to the nobles, basically, that they were having the problem with the English kings. Clear, girls? All of you? Okay, I have this last paragraph. Who wants to read it for me? Raise your hand.
Me no.
No,
No.
you're done. Farah, you're done. Judy, you're done. Is there nobody else who wants to read for me? Girls, raise your hand. Come on. Or will I choose by myself? Yalla, Rubal Hadi. Rubal Hadi. Yalla, Habibti.
Okay. The Magna Carta contains two basic ideas that, in the long run, shape government tradition in England. First, it said that the nobles had certain knights. One time, the knights that originally had been granted to noble applied to all English citizens. Second, the Magna Carta made clear that the monarch, like his or her subjects, must obey the law. This includes in respecting the legal rights of people. The king also agreed not to be raised new without first consulting his great council of lords uh, and the clergy. Eventually, council, the parliament,
Excellent.
parli- parliament.
Parliament. Thank you so much, Ruba. Okay, girls. Now, what was this Magna Carta? Basically, it had two ideas. Okay, it had two basic ideas that would shape the government traditions in England. This was coming from the noble side. They wanted it both to be equalized, the king's orders as well and the church as well. So they had two basic ideas to follow the government traditions in England. First, that nobles had certain rights. Okay, over time, the rights had originally been granted to nobles applied to all English citizens. What they meant is that any English citizen inside the country and any noble inside the country who was a Christian or followed a different way, who was mostly in the church kind of person, they and the English citizens would have equal rights. They don't want nobles to be treated in a different manner while other English citizens to be treated in a different manner. Okay, that was the first idea that was there in Magna Carta, basically equal rights. Okay, second was Magna Carta made clear that monarch, like his or her subjects, must obey the law. This included respecting the legal rights of the people. The king also agreed not to raise new taxes without first consulting his great council of lords and clergy. What is clergy, girls? Basically, it's some group of people who are responsible only for religious duties, especially in a church. So the king also agreed that apart, the second idea was what? Basically, that anybody who is appointed as a king has to obey the law. Any people who are working under the king, they have to obey the law. Even the part of the taxes, the king could not be able to decide that without discussing with these clergy people, the lords. They work for the church only. So basically, the lords of the church as well as the king had around similar rights so that they both can come in a mutual decision for the ease of the people. Eventually, the Great Council became the Parliament. Understood, girls? So the Great Council, basically the whole council of the Magna Carta, how they discussed everything, they became the Parliament. Parliament means it's a group of people which helps in taking decision for the leaders. You will have religious people in that. You will have scholars in that. You will have scientists in that. A group of people together will help make the leader of the nation take a better decision. Am I clear, girls? For example,
Yes.
here in Saudi, we have our king. Do you think that any decision that is supposed to be taken, the king takes it alone? No. He will have his finance managers. He will have his law people. He will have his own parliament. In that parliament, he will have his people who know about the ministry, who know about the forecast, who know about the security, who know about the condition of the country, who know what may be right. They won't be the decision makers, but they will help the king make the decision with the information that they have. And then at the end is when the king passes the correct decision. It's the same case that used to happen there as well, guys, since was a kingship as well. So this contract basically bought the nobles and the king together instead of having problems. Am I clear, girls?
Yes,
Understood? Sure.
yes,
All right. So we have 10 minutes now, and I think it's more than enough for you all to start answering some questions. Are we ready? I will encourage you to please try your best to start by answering from your own brain. If you have understood, it should not be that difficult for you. Try to take a hint from the picture shown. Maybe it will make it easier for you. Okay? If you don't understand, then go for the book. Believe me, you'll have more fun this way. Clear, girls, all of you? So are you ready?
yeah.
All of you, open your chat boxes. Okay,
Yes.
let's start. 3, 2, 1. Okay, question number 1. Eventually, because of Magna Carta, the Great Council became the what? I just discussed this now. One excellent, no, excellent. I don't mind the spelling. This is
Wait, it should be APA, like this one.
yes, yes, yes.
Should
I
be.
don't mind. See, if you're writing it
Sorry.
on your own without checking the book, Judy, if you're writing it on your own without checking the book, believe me, I don't mind the spelling mistake. I'm fine with it. Yes, Judy, that is the right one. See these people, girls, this is how the group of people used to sit that I was explaining. I need one more answer. Come on, girls. I got only 2 answers. Just now, 1 minute ago, I discussed. Excellent, Hala. Because of Magna Carta, the Great Council became the excellent Farah. Well done, girls. The right answer is Parliament. Now, girls, do you see this picture right here? This is exactly how a parliament used to sit. See the group of people everywhere. These are all the group of people who used to help the decision maker to decide what had to be done. Clear, girls? So that is what is called a parliament. Clear, girls? All of you? All right. Next question. William's successor strengthened which two things? There were two things that William's successor strengthened. Look at the picture, think about it. Two things were there. We call it, yes, Judy, that is one. Two, excellent, Judy. Well done, well done. Very good. Who else? Excellent, no. Very well done.
Also
Yeah,
taxes,
these are
teacher.
three things, but yes, no, I understand. It's okay. Strengthening was these two, the first two no that you mentioned. The third one was not the strengthening. That was he started doing it. They started doing it. Who else? Who else, girls? William's successor
I think
strengthened which two things? Farah, excellent. I got 3 answers. Girls, the right answer is no, Habibti. Unifying, that was William's successor job. I'm talking about William's successors. Unifying England, William did that. Okay, Raneem? William was the one who did unify
Yes.
England, but his successors are the one who strengthened the finances and law. Clear, girls? But thank you for trying, Raneem. Appreciate it. All right, next question. A dash system, look at the picture, girls, was also developed where a group of men sworn to speak the truth. Excellent. No, no, did you check the book or did you say it on your own?
No, I know it.
Excellent. Tala, very good. Excellent job. Excellent. I'm very happy. Who else, girls? Come on, look at the picture. It's very easy. No, Roeda. Think again. You're close. Think again.
This?
Yes, Judy. Excellent. Exactly. See the
I
picture.
was going to write like the exact word, like the spelling of the name.
Mm-hmm. See, this picture will help you, girls. The picture will help you. It's very simple. A dash system was also developed where a group, Abir, excellent, group of men sworn to speak the truth. The right answer is jury. Excellent, girls. Where is jury? Jury is supposed to answer this question. Where is jury?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Ah, jury. You're supposed to answer this question. This involves your name.
Okay.
All right, girls. Next question. William's successor built a system of what? Look at the picture. Look at the picture, girls. William's successor built a system of excellent. No, very good. Very good. Yes, Abir, excellent. Very good. Raneem, excellent. Yes, Hala, very good. Tala, very good. Yes, girls.
Oh,
Hala, Hala,
okay.
very good.
I'm so
Judy, yes.
stupid, teacher.
Yes, you are, Judy, but it's okay. I forgive you.
Teacher.
Excellent, girls. I'm very proud of you. See, the picture I told you will help. William's successor built a system of tax collecting. Well done, girls. Very well done. All right, next, girls. In the early 1200s, group of nobles forced King John to sign what? Look at King John. What is he signing? Do you remember? He was given something to sign. What was it? Excellent, no? Very good. Excellent, Judy. Well done. What did King John sign, girls? Come on. I'll give you a hint. It had two basic ideas. Yes, Abir. Very good. Full name. Yes, Hala. Excellent. Yes, Raneem. Very good. Well done, girls. Most of you all got it right. The contract, basically, which was the Magna Carta. All right. Or Great Charter. Yes, Hala. Excellent. Excellent, Abir. All right. Next question, girls. The Norman conquest led to blending of Dash and Anglo-Saxon cultures. What were the two things that blended during Norman conquest? I was explaining the picture clearly if you remember. Yes, no, very good. Well done. The Norman conquest led to blending of two things. Anglo-Saxon cultures? No, Judy. Think again. See, Anglo-Saxon, no, Tala. Yes, Raneem, excellent. Anglo-Saxon cultures were German. Yes, yes, Abir, you're close. Yes, Abir, excellent. So basically, yes, Tala, very good.
Is it this one?
No, Judy, no, Habibti. See, Judy,
I
what happened
didn't
was there
find
were
it.
two.
I'm just
Okay, it's
trying
okay,
to
don't
look.
worry. I'm glad you're trying on your own. Girls, I appreciate more if you're trying on your own, believe me. What happened during Norman conquest, remember? There were the French and they combined with the German cultures. Anglo-Saxon is German cultures and Norman French is the French culture. So basically the answer is Norman French. Even if you just say French, it's okay, girls. Not a problem. All right, girls, clear all of you?
Yeah.
All right. Now, William the Conqueror took the throne of England in which year? Which year did he take the throne? Yalla, girls, be quick on this.
Oh my
Excellent.
God,
No.
I wrote
Okay.
something.
Wait. All of you are correct, but I need to see who gave it first. Excellent. Okay, Judy, you were the first one. No, second. Hala,
You
third.
know why? Because I pressed on the dash, like
Ayya, by
like
mistake.
you
It's
know,
okay.
it's above
Tala,
the
Para,
answer.
Abir, Raneem, excellent. William the Conqueror took the throne of England in 1066. All right, girls. Last question. 3 minutes left. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get this one. English kings conflicted with the dash and the dash. What were the two things that English kings were conflicted with? Remember, they had problems with. That's why the Magna Carta came. So there were two things they had misunderstandings with. Two kinds of people, I can say, or things, yeah, they had misunderstandings with. What were these two things? Yes, Judy. Yes, Raneem, very good, but one more, Raneem. You gave only one. Judy, excellent. Well done. Yes, Raneem, very good. Yes, Abir, good.
Not sure.
No. Second one is wrong. Ragad, very good. Farah, no. Farah, think again. There were two things they had a
Wait.
problem with. Think, girls. Come on. Two things because of which the Magna Carta was no. Think again. No, that was when the king was taking the decisions. It wasn't without them. I'm asking the two things they had misunderstandings with because of which Magna Carta was prepared. Who had problems because of which Magna Carta was prepared? Who had problems? Yalla, tell me.
Is it this one?
No. The second one is right. The first one, no. No, Hala, think again.
What teacher? It's the same thing.
No, Habibti. Not at all. Think again.
Wait.
Think again. Who had problems with the kings because of which the Magna Carta was prepared? There was a reason why Magna Carta was prepared. No, not really. Those were the people who were following the king, no? They didn't have a problem. Okay, tell me, what does this picture show you? What is this picture? Can you tell me that? Can anyone tell me what is this picture? I have 1 minute left.
Church, isn't it?
Exactly. So one is church, the other is who? There were church and the
Nobles.
people who prepared the Magna. Exactly. The people who prepared the Magna Carta, which is the nobles. So the nobles and the church. Clear, girls?
Ah,
So, Alas, we are done for the questions today, girls. And less than 1 minute left. The class will end anytime. Thank you so much for your participation, girls. I really appreciate it. I will see you next week, inshallah, with another lesson and another competition. All right, girls?
Bye.
Take care, girls.
Bye.
See you next week, inshallah. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye, girls. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, bye.